Hi guys, welcome back to Simply Blissful Living. Today I'll be showing you a curry recipe. It is a lamb curry recipe that is a taste from home. It is one of the recipes that I grew up eating back at home in Fiji. And this video is in collaboration with the beautiful and lovely Rashmi over at Taste of Trini. Rashmi is of Indian background, just like I am, but we grew up on different islands. She is from Trinidad, and she has a wonderful channel with a lot of recipes from that are connected to her childhood and that are connected to how she grew up, what she grew up eating, and the foods of her home. And so she will be showing you her version of lamb curry. And because we're both of Indian descent, we decided to do this recipe because there's so many different types of curries around the world. And depending on where you go, there's a slight variation. And so I wanted to share my recipe with you guys on how we make it back in Fiji. And she's gonna share her version. So please be sure to check out her channel. She has amazing recipes. She's a beautiful person inside and out, and you have to check out her channel. I hope you give this recipe a try. I'm gonna go through some of the basics of how I prepare the ingredients for this, and then we'll get right into the recipe. I'm using fresh lamb chops. These are with the bone. There's bone right here. You can use whatever lamb you want. This is 1 pound of lamb, and I'm just gonna cut it into smaller pieces or curry pieces. Start off by trimming just the fat, the visible fat that I see. And the key to this is making sure you use a sharp knife. Hey guys, so my lamb is ready. I've washed it according to my liking, and now I'm going to show you the rest of the ingredients that we're going to need. So aside from your lamb, you're going to need onion. I have 1 large onion that I'm going to be using. You can use less if you don't want it too oniony. I'm going to use 1 potato. Again, you can up this, increase it to 2 or 3 potatoes if you like. I'm going to chop 1 tomato. This is a very vine ripe tomato. So 1 big tomato chopped. We're going to use 1,000,000 cloves of garlic. So it's about, I don't know, 10 to 15 small pieces of small cloves of garlic. You can adjust that to your taste. So this is probably going to come out to about 2 tablespoons of garlic. I'm going to use some ginger. So I'm going to use about a teaspoon, maybe a couple of teaspoons worth of grated ginger. I have some serrano peppers. You can use any peppers of your choice. If you want this spicier, and if you have access to spicier peppers, go ahead and use that. And then I'm going to use 2 dry chilies as well. A sprig of curry leaves. We call it ichpatti, but this is fresh curry leaves. If you don't have access to fresh curry leaves, you can substitute bay leaves as well. From the spice box, we will be using some masala or garam masala, whichever one you have available. We're going to be using some cumin seeds, some chili powder or paprika, some turmeric, and if you like the taste of mustard seeds and fenugreek seeds, you can add those. I personally don't like the bite of them, so I won't be adding them, but there's a lot of people in Fiji that do add mustard seeds and fenugreek seeds, which is sarso and methi, to their lamb dish. For us, it's just a personal preference in our house. So those are the ingredients, and I will have all the ingredients listed on my website. I have all my ingredients ready to go. I have my lamb, and I wanted to show you guys how I chopped the potatoes. So you want a pretty big size because otherwise they're just gonna disintegrate into the curry. And then what I did was I took all my masalas, all the spices, aside from the cumin. I have that because I'm gonna be adding that separately. I put them in a bowl just to make things easier. And then I have all my ingredients lined up here. And I'm going to now go to the stove and show you guys how to make this amazing lamb curry. Okay, so we're going to start off on high heat, and I'm using a very heavy bottomed pan here. This is a cast iron pan, and this just makes amazing curries. You can use any pan of your choice, but if you have a Dutch oven or a cast iron pot, it's amazing to use for curries, especially for meats that are a little on the tougher side. I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of oil and let it heat up. Okay, the pan is pretty hot now, so I'm gonna go in with my onions. I'm gonna saute this for a couple of minutes. Once the onions become translucent and slightly golden brown, I'm gonna go ahead and add the garlic, ginger, and pepper paste. And we're gonna saute this for about 30 seconds. I'm gonna bring the heat down to medium now. I'm gonna go in with the cumin seeds, the dried chilies, and the curry leaf. Saute this. Now we're gonna add the tomato. I'm gonna cook this mix for a couple of minutes, covered, until the tomatoes break down. A couple of minutes here, and as you can see, the tomatoes are starting to break down. I'm gonna add some salt, maybe half a teaspoon, and stir this. Okay, so the tomatoes and the onions and garlic mixture is cooked through. Smells amazing already, and the tomato is broken down a lot. Now we're gonna go ahead and add in the spices, which is garam masala, turmeric, and chili pepper powder or chili powder. And I'm gonna mix this really well. I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of water to this. I'm gonna raise the heat up to medium-high, add just a little bit of water, and this is just gonna help the spices cook through, and it's also gonna help me deglaze the pan at the bottom. Put the masalas for 30 seconds to a minute until the oil starts oozing out, and then we're gonna add the lamb. So it's been about a minute, and you don't want to burn the spices. You really don't want to burn spices. It just ends up tasting bitter. So we're gonna add the lamb at this point. I have my flame up to high heat now, and we're gonna mix this really well. Lamb is very well coated with all these beautiful spices. Then we're gonna go in with our salt. This is to taste. I'm using Himalayan salt because that's what I use regularly. You can use regular salt, kosher salt, any salt of your choice. Stir this, and then we're gonna cover this and cook this. You want the lamb to get nicely browned. You don't want to add the water in at this point. So drop the heat to medium, medium-high, between medium and high, and cook this for a few more minutes. Okay, so it's been about 7 minutes. Now what I'm going to do is add some water to this. So maybe half a cup of water. I'm going to lower it to medium heat, and I'm going to let this cook for about 15 minutes before I add the potatoes to it. So it's been about 10 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and add the potatoes at this point. And I'm also going to add the cilantro, or most of the cilantro here. It just infuses the dish with the flavor. Back on the islands we use culantro, which is a little different. I cannot find that here. The Asian store does get it sometimes, but it's quite expensive, so cilantro will suffice. I'm gonna stir this all together. Bring the heat up to high again. I'm gonna add about 1/3 cup of water here. Actually, let's up that to about half a cup of water. This can vary depending on how big your potato is, how soupy you like your curries. If you don't like them, you know, the gravy, if you don't like it too thin, then don't add too much water. But let's start off with about half a cup of water. As soon as it comes to a boil, we're gonna put the lid back on and lower the heat to medium and cook this for about 10 more minutes or until the potatoes are done. Okay guys, it's been about 15 minutes. You want to make sure that the potatoes are done, and to check that, you just slice through a potato, and once the potatoes are done, you know that your dish is done. I'm going to garnish this with some coriander leaves or cilantro leaves and turn off the heat. You want to make sure you let this sit for 10 to 15 minutes after cooking it before you serve it. So here it is guys, beautiful lamb curry made with potatoes, best served over hot rice and some cucumbers or some achar on the side. This is one of my favorite meals and I love having this as seldom as I do have it. It is delicious and I hope you give this recipe a try. If you like this recipe, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of it when you do try it. And don't forget to head over to Reshmi's channel at Taste of Trini. Show her lots of love, comment on her videos, and let her know that Romy sent you. And until next time, please take care, live blissfully, and I will see you guys very soon. Love you all.